Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to B2B Energy's Toolbox Tips. My name is Paul Webb. I'm the founder of B2B Energy, and I'm also your host regarding these tips. And today is Toolbox tip number 3, and we're going to be focusing on data because you cannot manage what you don't measure. And I'm going to give you some simple tips to help you manage your third largest expense. Toolbox tip number 3. If we can't measure it, we can't manage it. It's impossible to manage your energy if you are not constantly reviewing how much consumption you're doing, whether it be on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, or even a daily basis. We need to start measuring the energy. And this comes from a famous saying from Edwards Deming. He also is famous for the saying of plan, do, check, act, which is from the ISO 50001 standard. So we're going to be covering what we can measure and how can we measure. And what we can measure are very simple data which is available today for you within your properties and your organisation. So we can do constant meter readings. We can start pulling half-hourly data together regarding your electricity. Now this can either come from your supplier or your energy broker or your energy consultant that you're working with. And this is interval data, so we can look at your energy on a half-hourly basis, and we can receive that data every 24 hours. So it gives you very granular approach to your energy. We can also look at possibly sub-metering. Newer properties have got sub-metering within their buildings, which may have different floors, maybe your catering areas, maybe your factory areas. So we can actually pull that data together as well. And then lastly, your bills and your invoices. Now, the bills and invoices do have a negative area to focus on because they could be estimated billing. So, we won't get true reflection on your energy consumption and we get inaccuracies. But it's still a good place to start, and we should be reviewing all of these areas. What we need to do is just create a very simple data collection sheet. And we can do that in Excel or Word, or even just basically put it into a notepad and start to collect that information. And then simply we need to know the period and frequency we're collecting the data, the utility we're reviewing, the reading in kilowatt hours or whatever the utility is measuring in, the consumption of that, and your cost in the next column. So this is an example where we've actually taken just 3 months of data, and we start to look at the energy consumption for that period, and we've got January, February, March in that graph. And then from there, this is how we then start to measure that. So don't just have it on a spreadsheet or in your notepads, on a table. Move it into a graphical representation, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. As you can see here, we can see the electricity is increasing from January to February to March. So we can straight away make a clear management decision. We can also not only look at your kilowatt hours, we can also look at it regarding the cost. So again, you can see your costs increase, and as tariffs are changing, you can apply the different tariffs as well. And lastly, that was a simple step to actually start to measure your data. We can start to evolve that and start to really understand your carbon footprint and what you're trying to achieve regarding managing your third largest expense. So we can start to look at benchmarking and benchmarking your consumption against other organisations that are similar within your sector, or other organisations that aren't similar. You know, how much are they utilising their energy against their square metres of their property or their sales, etc. We can also start to balance, and what we mean by that is we start to understand how you can how your energy is being distributed. So, you know, how much are your lighting, how much energy is being consumed on your air conditioning systems, how much is on your process. So you can start to provide a balancing process regarding the distribution side of your organisation. And then lastly, we could start looking at league tabling. So we could league table different properties. We could league table different departments, and we can start to understand who's using the most amount of energy for the different amounts of people within them departments. So it then starts to provide clear and concise vision and visibility to your energy consumption. So lastly, once we've taken these simple steps, start sharing this data. Share this data around your departments, around your buildings, and around the organisation and the employees. Put graphs up on your intranet. Put graphs on your notice boards. Show people where you're utilising your energy, and maybe align the energy to the type of organisation you are. If you're manufacturing cars, you can say how much energy you save per car. You can then start to show the different sizes of carbon that you've reduced. You know, there's some really good examples of that regarding a double-decker bus, how much energy you've saved and how much carbon you saved, and what that is the equivalent of. So there's lots of things you can start doing regarding having fun with this data, because by doing this, you will start to reduce your kilowatt hours, you start to reduce your emissions, and then you'll be able to start saving the planet. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for following the Toolbox tips. If you're not following Toolbox tips now, please subscribe below. There is a link. We're more than happy to hear your comments, and we'd like you to give us some more direction. What do you want to know more about regarding energy and energy management? Do not miss any of these Toolbox tips to help you manage your third largest expense. My name is Paul Webb, and please be safe in these times, you and your family.